Hi! Are we live? I believe we are. Good evening or good morning. You could be watching this at morning time. Um, Good afternoon. You could be watching this in afternoon time. Whatever time it is, I'm super excited to have you. Today, Facebook, you know what? I decided I'm just going to talk to you. I know I'll be splitting my time between Facebook and Instagram, but this one is just for you, Facebook. I want you to know that I am here with you. So if you're tuning in, holla at me in the chat. Jump in the chat. Tell me where you from. Give your name. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you calling from Maryland? Are you calling from Florida, California, maybe Oregon, Montana? Okay. Let me know. Where are y'all calling from? For those of you who do not know me, I'm going to get straight to the point because it's Friday night. Just got paid. Or it could be Tuesday. I don't know when you're watching this. I'm just saying. Okay, so just so that you know who I am, my name is Shahara. I'm a public speaking coach and trainer, and I help entrepreneurs speak with more confidence, credibility, and clarity. And not only that, let me just tell you how the public speaking landscape is changed in the last few months. Everything, every single thing is done in the virtual space. Okay, so we have virtual stages now. What are those virtual stages? We're talking about podcasts. That kind of exists before, but we're talking about you. They want you to be a panelist, right? They want you to be a part of a summit, part of a conference. They want you to come in on their Facebook Live or their Instagram Live, or maybe perhaps you are hosting your very own live. How are you showing up on those stages? How are your public speaking skills actually translate? Hey, y'all too loud. Y'all loud. I got my college friends visiting y'all. Excuse me. Okay. Um, Anyways, but they're showing up in all these different stages. And so now you've really got to consider exactly what are your speaking skills doing and how are they translating? Well, guess what? That's what I'm here for. That's what we're working on today, right? So I am excited to have each and every one of you join me. And when I tell you, I want you to comment in the chat. I want you to comment in the chat. If I ask you a question, go ahead and respond. I don't even care if this is a recording. I come back to these and I'm looking for what you're saying, the things that challenge you, the things that you want to work on, the things that, you want to excel, right? I always say you want to show up, show out, and shine. And that's what it's about. So today, this is a little tidbit. I see some people watching. If you have not announced yourself, into the room, okay? Step to the stage, announce yourself, introduce yourself. But today, I want to talk a little bit about a misconception, okay? It's something that we do that we think is going to help us improve our public speaking skills, help us become better communicators, help us with our presence on stage. And when I say stage, I mean our virtual stages. But in actuality, I don't think it really does. Okay. So I want you to take a moment. I want you to think about the different ways in which you practice, the way that you prepare. And, I'm also talking about this from even casual conversations to the conference keynote you may be preparing for. Casual conversations can sometimes turn into real crucial conversations because it's the conversation that could lead to a conference keynote, if you feel me. So all of these opportunities that when I say you're public speaking, that means that when you're speaking and words are coming out of your mouth and there's somebody there to listen, it's public speaking. So no matter what it is, so what are the ways that you prepare? What are the ways that you practice? What are the ways that you get yourself ready? How do you hype yourself out? How do you make sure that you're delivering the right message with the right tone? I mean, are you considering these things when you show up and represent yourself? I mean, are you? I'm asking the question. Go ahead and put it in the chat. Are you preparing yourself in the way that you should? And if you are, say yes. If you're not, say no, but I want to, right? And if you are preparing yourself, but you're looking for different ways that are going to be a lot more effective in helping you really improve, then I want to introduce this concept. Like, this is a misconception, right? People always say that if you practice in the mirror, right? You got a presentation coming up, you're working on a particular message, you've got something that you want to deliver, practice in the mirror, because that's a good way to kind of get the jitters out so that you're not with the uhs, the ums, and the uhs, and all of that, right? So practicing in the mirror. Here's the thing. Practicing in the mirror is not what makes great speakers. It's not what makes dynamic speakers. I cannot tell you the last time that I actually practiced in the mirror. I don't even know. I don't practice in front of mirrors. I just don't. It doesn't help me in the ways that I know I need to show up in these virtual stages and these crucial conversations. There's not been a time that I ever had to go back to the mirror and say, you know what, mirror? Mirror, you did that. Mirror, you helped me. Mirror, you made the difference. Now, the mirror, nah. What I will say, though, however, for those of you who are practicing in the mirror, round of applause. Pat yourself on the back, because it's better to practice than not to practice at all. So if you are practicing in front of the mirror, fantastic. It's a good way to get started. It's a good way to start your practice. But the great speakers didn't just practice in the mirror. They found other spaces, other methods, other ways to practice. So again, let me just tell you right now, practice in the mirror if you're beginning. Practice in the mirror if you know you don't have any other way to practice. But also understand that don't get frustrated. Don't feel defeated if you're not feeling so much progress just because you're practicing in the mirror. So if you're showing up in these virtual spaces, these virtual stages, and then you're like, oh, I feel just the same as I did last time, but I've been practicing in the mirror. Oh, I feel just the same as I did last time, but I've been practicing in the mirror. You see the cycle. The thing is it gets you so far. But to be great, you gotta practice as if it's the real thing. Because this is what's happening. You're practicing. Y'all see my blue mascara? I'm sorry, I got myself distracted. You see it? Trying something new. Anyways, what happens is when you find yourself in these casual conversations, these crucial conversations, you've been invited on a live, you're hosting your own live, there's a big difference. And I'm sure you can name some of the differences between practicing in the mirror and actually doing it in real life. You're missing the element of connecting with people. You're missing the element of the energy of knowing that someone is looking at you. You're missing the aspect of this is a conversation and not just me reciting some things. You're missing the aspect of being able to pivot. You're missing practicing being able to say, I'm going to start speaking extemporaneously. And I know that's that is a big thing that a lot of people are really trying to be good at. Like, I just want to be able to talk from the top. I just want to, no script. I just want to go for it. But practicing in the mirror is only going to get you so far. So if you want to be good at all of these different aspects that I just mentioned, then guess what you need. Write it in the chat if you think you know what you need. Write it in the chat if you think you know what you need. Write it in the chat if you think you know what you need. And some of you may have already guessed it. Yes, you need people. What? You're trying to tell me that the way that I become a great speaker is by practicing in front of people? But Shahara, how do I create a stage? How do I create a space where I can just randomly practice with other people? That's the thing. You may not necessarily have the opportunity to just always practice in front of people. But your job and your call to action, the thing that I would love for you to do is start to create more opportunities for you to speak in front of people. And I'm going to just tell you right now, you've had opportunities and you probably said, nah, I think I'm good. You've had opportunities to speak in front of people, but you were like, that's not really my audience. You've had opportunities to practice and speak in front of people, but you said, I'm not quite ready. You've had opportunities to speak in front of people, but you said, my message isn't together. No matter how unprepared you feel, whenever there's an opportunity for you to speak in front of people, what do you think you need to do? If you're in the chat, tell me what you think you need to do. Yes, you got that right. You need to just speak in front of people. The only way to be prepared is to be in these spaces and become familiar in these spaces. You have to either create these spaces or not turn down opportunities when these spaces come up. You have to be eager to say, oh, I'll take the mic. Oh, yeah, I'll introduce myself. Oh, yep, I'll lead the meeting. Oh, yep, I'm going to show up at this networking event. And oftentimes, some of the best places to get practice speaking in front of other people are networking events. And we're getting all of these things all the time now because we're all in this virtual space. And so you go to this Zoom happy hour, you're going to a social on Zoom, and they're asking you to introduce yourself. Let me tell you, boo-boo, it is not just an introduction. This is where you practice. You feel me? You with me? This is where you start to show up. This is where you find the comfort in front of people. This is where you learn how to connect with people. This is where you start to move outside of your head and just speak. This is where you can start to practice that extemporaneous speaking that you also desire to be good at. So for those of you who are watching, I want you to now take this clear call to action. Whenever there's an opportunity for you to speak in front of people, take it, because, and those are for people who are just now showing up, practicing in the mirror does not make you a great speaker. It doesn't make you a dynamic speaker. What up, Hal? Hello, residents in. Oh, hey, Hal, what's good? I'm doing my thing. Welcome to the live. Hal does great, by the way. And even in his industry, he works in the restaurant industry, the hotel industry. But every time there is a customer that comes to the desk that's ready to check in, it's not just a conversation. It's not just a method of let me get them into their room. Hal is practicing his public speaking skills. He has to greet people. He has to engage. He has to connect. He has certain things that he has to deliver as a part of how he greets people and the process in which he gets people into the hotel. So now you add 2 more people, 3 more people, 4 more people where there is a crowd. Hal is even more prepared to speak to this crowd. So that is what really gets your muscles. It gets your hands dirty, right? Practicing in the mirror does not really get your hands dirty. Practicing in the mirror is a safe way of practice. Not to say it doesn't help, but if you've gotten to a certain point where you have no problem speaking to people, you have no problem speaking in audiences, you have no problem kind of showing up, but what you really want to start working on is not just showing up, but shining, not just showing up, but showing out, then that's when you know you need to take your practice to the next level, and that practicing in the mirror is not enough. So now you're saying, well, Shahara, you offering, you telling me what I shouldn't be doing and what's not going to help me. So why don't you tell me how exactly I can do this? I gave you the call to action. Make sure you never turn down an opportunity to speak in front of a group, even if it seems as informal as introducing yourself at some type of social or networking event. Those are great places to start, and take those places and those virtual stages seriously. Remind yourself that, people are watching. It matters. Let me make this shine. Let me make this really be my thing. And then secondly, I know that there are other spaces for example, a Toastmasters, that sometimes people have been using Toastmasters as a way to just get in front of people, right? But of course, they've had to pivot. They've had to change, and now it's virtual. We're not meeting in groups. But I will offer you this. For those of you who are really looking to become dynamic speakers, to speak with energy, to speak with presence, I always say confidence, credibility, and clarity. But I always say, if you want to not just show up, but really show out, I did another video about those mic drop moments. If you're speaking and you want to have mic drop moments, and walk away from every time you engage an audience or a group of people and say, yeah, I did that, then I would highly suggest, and I'm going to put the link in here for you guys on Facebook, check out what I have to offer. It's called Privilege. It's an online group coaching program for public speaking. What? Yes. I am offering this to you, okay? And all I want you to do is check out the page. And if it's something that you think you want to be a part of, if you want to be a part of a group of people who are collectively interested and intentional about not only just improving their public speaking skills, but connecting and communicating with audiences in ways that are memorable, and that you leave the stage with a certain level of je ne sais quoi, as they say it, then make sure you apply. All you got to do is check it out, apply, and then that will lead for us to have a conversation. Do it. If you want to have an opportunity to talk to me about how the Privilege group coaching program for all public speaking can support, help you, and help transform the way that you speak and connect and communicate, then make sure you hit the link. It's Friday, so I'm not going to keep you much longer, ladies and gentlemen. Again, my name is Shahara, public speaking coach, helping you speak with more confidence, credibility, and clarity. And not only that, dominating these new virtual stages, extending your presence, having that energy, having those mic drop moments. That's what I help you with. Anyways, thank you everybody for joining me. Thank you for joining me in the chat. And like I said, if you have any questions, share it in the chat. Shoot me a DM. I'm here for you. You all enjoy. I'll see you soon.